Well, welcome to the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. That dashing young man that you see on the screen next to me is the head basketball coach at University of Southern Indiana. The Screaming Eagles pick up their first ever Division I victory on Sunday afternoon, and Coach Stan Gouard is with us. Stan, I want to take you back a little bit, though. We've talked several times. We're going to build a program and all of that. And people don't expect a ton out of USI first year Division I. They've already realized they shouldn't be overlooking the Screaming Eagles, I guess.
Yeah, great point. This first year of this transitional phase of Division I, and not many expectations, but as a competitor and a coach, I expect to win every game. And we pregame last night, pregame Missouri. That was one of my biggest messages was our expectations each and every night out. Go out and compete at the high level and give yourself a chance to win. And last night I felt like we matched up with those guys pretty well from a size standpoint. And it was just going to boil down to who wanted it the most and who could make the right plays. And, traditionally SIU, over the years, even back when Brian Mullins played there, they were a good basketball team and still are. And I knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk in the park because of the tradition that Southern Illinois has as well. And, proud of my guys for a job well done last night, sticking to the game plan. And good things happen when you listen to your coach. I always tell them that.
I want to take you back to the Missouri game. I think that was the first big eye-opener for people. You guys gave the Tigers all they wanted. Did that also tell your team, hey, we can do this. We can play at this level?
Yes, that was a great confidence booster. You look at our first half, we were down 20 points a couple times in that basketball game in Missouri. But our guys showed that no-quit mentality. I feel like the start we had really shot us in the foot at Missouri with the turnovers, the offensive rebounds, the missed shots. Could have been first game jitters, but it also had a lot to do with how Missouri was playing. They played very fast. They were very physical with us. And then once we realized that we can play with those guys, especially in the second half, we were almost in a position to, either tie the game or win the ball game. But credit goes to Missouri because they made the necessary plays down the stretch to win that ball game. But we shot the ball extremely well. We guarded a little bit better, less mistakes. But when you give up 97 points, you're not going to win very many. We scored enough to win. But 97 points, you're not going to win very many ball games giving up that many.
Then you had the Southern Illinois Salukis coming in, and you mentioned they're a good program. They've been good a long time. They play nasty defense. They're coming off a win against Oklahoma State. And so this was going to be another great test for you guys. When I look back over the stats and all that, they're a great defensive team, and yet you shot it well, and you really shut them down. What were some of the keys to yesterday's victory?
Well, we wanted to spread those guys out. We have enough shooters on the court to be able to get to the paint. We went small. We played small ball. We moved Lex to the 5, and he's more of our stretch 4. But he can also guard interior. So we put 4 guards out there around Lakes and played small ball, and it was hard to help off of our shooters, And once Solomon, Swope, and Simmons, got into high ball screens, we were able to get downhill and get easy layups. And then once we started getting layups, they started switching for 5 ways, and we made the right plays. But they scored 53 points. And we can talk about the offense all day, but when you defend the way we did last night, you're going to win a lot of ball games. We again went small ball. We switched 5 ways, front of the post. We flew around. We were active in the gaps. And listen, the Jones kid and the Domas kid, they'll be first team All Valley players. And I told my guys that last night. And although they scored, a little bit under 20 points, those guys are going to score a lot of points, and they're hard to guard. They're a matchup nightmare, and they run such fluid and efficient offense that it's hard to prepare for everything. But a lot of credit goes to my coaching staff, for putting together a great plan, and a lot of credit goes to our student athletes for listening to the plan and sticking to it for 40 minutes.
Yeah, Jones got his points, but he had to take a ton of shots to get them, and I was impressed with how you guys held him in check. I mean, like you said, he's going to get his points, but you guys defended those two guards, their best two players, extremely well. How you talked about going small against them so that you could exploit some other opportunities, but they are known for shutting people down, and for you to go get the 71 against them in a against an outstanding defensive team, that says a lot about your offensive scheme.
Yeah, I think our kids have it mixed up. You always say offense wins games, defense wins championships. I think my kids think offense wins championships. But yes, we were able to exploit those guys with some of the things we did offensively. I feel like that was one of our best execution games in a long while. I know we're only 2 games in it, but I'm talking even last year. We shared the ball, especially second half. They turned us over a lot. I think we had 10 the first half. A lot of those were live ball turnovers, leading layups, but they turned us over a lot. But, second half, we shot it really well and was able to put those guys in tougher situations the first half. And we drove them. Tyler Henry came off the bench last night. I think he scored 13 points. But he wanted the assignment of guarding Jones. I looked out there one time, Harry, and he and Gary Solomon was arguing over who's going to guard him. that makes me proud because guys who have it going on offense, they don't want to play they want to play defense, and they were like, "No, I got him, you got him," and that made me proud of those guys for that because they embraced that challenge.
I want to talk about the emotional side of it. Before we started recording this, I saw the video of you guys hopping around in the locker room, and that had to be exciting. The fans at the arena, they were jazzed up about it. Just talk about the mood around the program. To me, I saw Evansville here Saturday night, and they gave St. Louis all they wanted. And I keep telling everybody I can talk to that there's a basketball revival going on in Evansville right now around your two programs. But just talk about what's going on there. I mean, you talked about your the university president being in there and the fans, and just talk a little bit about the emotional side of this whole thing.
Well, walking out of that locker room last night prior to the game to do the national anthem, I just had to take a minute and look around because there was a lot of people there. As my players called it, they said it was lit, whatever that means. I have no clue. But that's what a couple of my players said after the game last night. But walking out to do the national anthem, I had to take a second because this is what I envisioned when I came back to USI. It kind of reminded me of the days of the 95 championship team. It was like that every night. And to walk in there and see that crowd, I was really proud of our student body for showing up. I was really proud of our fans here locally for showing up, and our administration for pumping our brand across the city and state. And like you said, you have the best of both worlds here in Evansville with David Scott going on over at Evansville and what we have over here. Sunday afternoon, you get an MVC-OVC matchup basketball game, and it was a great game to be a part of. Fortunately for us, we came out on the winning side, but not only did we have a lot of people in the seats, it was loud. They cheered every game, and I made sure after that game, I embraced our student athletes. Walked around and we just gave thanks to those who came out yesterday and cheered loud and proud for our Screaming Eagles. So exciting!
4 guys in double figures that sounds terrific. Is that what we can expect? I don't mean 4 guys in double figures, but real balanced scoring from the Screaming Eagles this year?
Well, I would hope so. But that's what team is all about. You take a guy like Jeremiah Hernandez, who I think he scored 14 points at Missouri a couple of days, and Tyler Henry didn't play very much, at Missouri. Last night, the roles were reversed. And Tyler Henry had his day, and Jeremiah didn't. And that's the beauty of a team. A.J. Smith, freshman from the St. Louis area, did not play at Missouri, but he came in last night off the bench and got 9 rebounds. We was trying to just figure out the right guys who can guard Domask, and I thought A.J. Smith, from a physical standpoint, could guard him. So we threw him in there for a couple minutes as an experimental thing, and he passed the test and ended up getting about 15 minutes. So, but we had a lot of firepower. We shoot the ball extremely well. We had some really good guards in Solomon, Jack Campion, freshman, and Isaiah Swope. So those guys are going to continue to kind of, run the show for us. And I put so much pressure on those guys in terms of making sure guys are in the proper place when we call something out. Every time it goes bad on offense, it's their fault. And I'm sure they're tired of hearing that. But I call them, I'm a big Peyton Manning guy. I call those guys my Peyton Manning, my quarterback. And they got to make sure guys are in the proper places when we call plays, especially when it's too loud to hear what's going on.
Well, you started with Missouri, then you got Southern Illinois. At least you get a breather. Your next game, you play Notre Dame. You put together a schedule that was really going to tax your team, really challenge your team, and figure out what Division I basketball is all about. I so respect that, and I know you haven't been looking too far forward to talk about the Fighting Irish, but it just doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, it does not, and that's the beauty of college basketball. Last night you saw the locker room celebration with our great president, Dr. Rashawn. We really have to work on his jumping. Go back and we're going to send out something on Twitter later on today in slow motion. We've been working on vertical jump, but we got a chance last night to celebrate with our student athletes. Unfortunately, we play on Wednesday against the Fighting Irish, and we had about 2 hours to celebrate and moved on to the next one. We were at it last night, my assistant coach Chris Moore and I, watching game film in preparation because we have practice at 1 o'clock today, so we want to make sure we as prepared as possible when we present the scout to our guys today. And hopefully, we defend the way we did last night against Carbondale.
My friend Rocco Miller is big on Twitter, and he covers a lot of leagues and mid-majors in particular. And he has you guys ranked in the top 50 amongst all the mid-major teams as of right now. I mean, I know you're a positive guy, but just 2 games in, you have to be thrilled with where you guys are at. Not surprised, but thrilled.
I'm very happy. To be 500, with the 2 teams we just played so far. I'm very thrilled, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we put together a very tough schedule. A lot of people told me I'm crazy, and that remains to be seen, But again, like I said from day one, my goal is to make sure we put together a tough enough schedule that prepares us for the grind of the OVC each and every night. Our league is very good. 75 years of existence, and we stepped into something here this year that's going to challenge us every night, and I feel like these games here, non-conference wise, will prepare us for the grind of OVC.
Stan Gouard, we appreciate your time today. Congratulations on the big win yesterday. Great start. I was so impressed with the Missouri game, and then of course knocking off the Salukis yesterday. We're bullish on the Screaming Eagles here in St. Louis, and so really appreciate your time today. Thanks.
Thank you for having me. Hey,
That's Stan Gouard. He's the head coach of the Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana. They knocked off the Salukis of Southern Illinois on Sunday, Notre Dame on Wednesday. I'm Harry Schroeder reminding you, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll talk to you again real soon.